Welcome back, you lovely people. Just want to jump in here quickly as a precursor to tonight's Ask Me Anything. If you haven't joined before, please come and check it out. They're very powerful sessions. You can join live on Instagram, link in the description, or if you are on my email list, do that by downloading the playbook, which is free. Link is in the description, and you'll get an email with the Zoom link for the Ask Me Anything tonight at 6 p.m. UK time. So let's check in where we are. Obviously, a very exciting day, repairing the damage that's been done over the past 10 days. Bitcoin up 9.5%, just under $54,000. Let's check in on the two scenarios that we had defined. Haven't moved these lines. Let's see how we're getting on. So option A was that we get a bounce off the low, and then we have a final capitulation before beginning our next leg up. This would be exactly in line with what happened in the last cycle. This is the halving tracker. I'm looking very closely around 330 days, the last cycle. We had a dip, we had a bounce, and then we came down into a final capitulation. What's happened after 330 days in this cycle? We had a peak, we've had a dip. Today we're having a bounce, which isn't on this chart yet, which will end up looking exactly like the last cycle. Now, if we have a final capitulation, this would be down to something like $40,000 over the next couple of weeks. And then after that, you can see the bounce, the huge bounce from 370 days, basically up to the cycle peak, which would be coming in somewhere between, let's call it $260,000 and $350,000. That is scenario A. That is still in play. The bounce that I've drawn in is happening right now. Do we meet some resistance? If we do meet some resistance, where will that be? I'm looking at my lines with the drawings on. There's very key resistance up here at 59,500. Can see some here, 55,800, and most likely going to be one of those levels if we do. So let me draw in 55,660. I have it in here. So looking out for those key levels. If we get rejected, then it's very possible that we come down into that 38% correction that we had in the last cycle, which would be about, let's call it, where are we? Yeah, let's call it 40,000. That is in play big time. That is scenario A. Scenario B is that we had a final sell-off and then a very strong recovery back to the all-time high. Is that in play? Yes, it's in play as well. So we don't have a definitive answer yet. Last night we had a final, sorry, it might not be a final spike down, but we had a spike down last night. Yesterday we were down at the low, down 6%. This final spike, I believe, happened very, very quickly, and then we bounced out of there. That is in line with option B. We didn't come down as far as I'd drawn here, but we came down and now we're bouncing up out of here. So we will know when we pass the all-time high. Once we pass the all-time high, we know we've followed option B. And if we get rejected, then it looks like option A. So both still in play. Stay focused. And what might cause option B to happen? Well, there's a few things here. Number one, I feel that a lot of the sellers have already been exhausted. What do I mean by that? Well, only in January we had a 30% dip, but then followed by this correction, this correction, this correction, and now this correction. There are a lot of sellers that have been shaken out of the market. Are there any left? Who knows? Often when we have a long, deep correction, we have big price action to the upside going in there. We didn't have that this time because we had this sideways movement. That could be one reason why we don't get this capitulation down to $40,000. The other reason might be looking at the earnings calendar for today. Tesla announced their Q1 earnings after the bell tonight. It should be 9:30 p.m. UK time. Will they announce another Bitcoin purchase, maybe another billion? Well, you know, they've bought $1.5 billion already, and they're about $1 billion up on that position so far. So if you were $1 billion up on a position, would you be tempted to add another billion? Well, perhaps. And of course, other CEOs looking at Elon and Tesla. I'm looking at tomorrow, Microsoft, Google, Visa. How about Starbucks? And then on Wednesday, Apple, Facebook, Qualcomm, Shopify, Sony. In theory, there are companies in here that may have been buying Bitcoin. And if they have been, they will have to announce it in these earnings that are coming over the next couple of days. That could be one driver for option B, taking out the all-time high and then moving upwards from there. But whatever happens, we are well on track. Even if we shoot straight out of here, then of course we're looking at $300,000 plus. If we have a final capitulation, we'll still be well ahead of the green line, which was the last cycle, meaning we're looking at least $260,000 and probably more. So well on track. And I put this tweet out earlier, very important to remember. There was so much bearishness over the past couple of days, over the weekend. I know lots of people making mistakes or doubting themselves, doubting the roadmap, the playbook that I've put out. Stop getting shaken out as well. Don't get overconfident by the pumps. Everything does have to correct at some point, but keep laser focused on September because we are right on track. And I look forward to chatting with everybody tonight. So I will talk to you then.